Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining me again. I want to quickly show us something very spectacular about the 5 love language. Now, the love languages are different ways people receive emotional love. Now, because people are different, people have different ways they want to be loved, they receive emotional love. The point is that in marriage, people don't just want you to love them the way you want. In marriage, people want to be loved the way they want to be loved. So they want to be treated the way they want to be treated, not necessarily the way you want to treat them. The problem I see in marriage is I see a lot of people, spouses, want to treat their partners the way they want, the way they are. No, in love language, you are not the emphasis. The emphasis is on your partner. You have to learn to treat your partner the way your partner wants to be treated. You have to learn to love your partner the way your partner wants to be loved. Whenever you try to love your partner your own way and you are not loving your partner the way your partner wants to be loved, you miss the whole point about love language. That's why some people don't feel loved anymore in their marriage. Because you don't treat them, you don't love them the way they want to be loved. Everybody have different ways they want to be loved. Awesome. So in marriage, you love your partner the way your partner wants to be loved. And treat them the way they want to be treated, not the way you want. You don't say, no, this is not my thing. This is not how I want to do things. No, once it has to do with your love language, you have to learn to treat your partner the way your partner wants to be treated. So the first thing is about understanding the way that your partner wants to be loved. That's the first thing you need to do. Understanding of your partner's love language. Now, you need to realize that your love language is the point of your most vulnerability. Your love language is the point of your most need. Your love language is the point where you are weakest in your life. And also, your love language is the point of your most excitement. In other words, once your love language is met, you are excited, you are happy, your love needs are met. Hey, we have to be intentional in meeting our partner's love language. Very key. Because when you don't, your partner feels frustrated, your partner feels disregarded, your partner feels abandoned, even though you are still in that marriage. You know, in counseling, a lady was telling the husband, you don't love me again, you don't love me again. And we were wondering why. And we asked the man, your wife says you don't love her again. But the man said, I love my wife. Look at the new car I bought her. Look at the house I paid for her. Look at the dresses I bought. He was mentioning all the things he did for the wife recently. But the wife kept saying, you don't love me again. And eventually we realized that the reason why the woman kept saying, you don't love me again is because the man doesn't tell her. The man doesn't say it. He said, you don't love me again because you don't tell me. That woman's key love language apparently is words of affirmation. So there are actually 5 key love languages. And there are dialects also, because even though there are love languages, just the way you have different dialects in languages, you also have different dialects in love language. But the first key love language is what we call words of affirmation. Words. These are people that want to be loved through words. You tell them lovely things, you encourage them, you empower them, you build them up in words. Words have power to build, words have power to encourage, words have power to also destroy, to kill. That's why for people whose key love language is words of affirmation, you have to learn to affirm them in words. Affirm their cooking, affirm their looks, affirm their dressing, affirm everything about them. Tell them how much you love them, how much you care about them. Remind them that they are beautiful, they are pretty. Whenever you look at your wife, you should see something beautiful to talk about her. Even your husband, because it might be your husband that his key love language is words of affirmation. You must find words to encourage your husband. Tell him you are my king. Tell him you're handsome. Tell him, honey, You are just amazing. Thank him. Appreciate him for the payments he makes. The school fees, the bills, and everything. The new car he bought. Affirm your husband if his key love language was for affirmation. And then never forget affirming your wife. Use those lovely words to affirm her. Every good thing about her, say it, appreciate it. Whenever he does something that pleases you, appreciate her. And even when she makes mistake or he makes mistake, don't destroy her. Don't, humiliate her. Even though those people whose key love language is words of affirmation love beautiful words, they also hate dirty words. They hate abusive words. They hate wrong words. They hate even jokes. There are some jokes you shouldn't crack with your wife whose key love language is words of affirmation. Amazing. And as you keep doing these things, you keep ministering love to your wife, to your husband, because their key love language is words of affirmation. The second key love language is what we call quality time. That is intentionally spending quality time with your partner. So amazing. If your partner's key love language is quality time, it means he or she always wants you to be there. And not just hang around, but be there doing the same thing with them. Getting engaged together with them. Watching movies, playing games, gossiping, whatever. Do it together. You see, when you do that, you are ministering love to your partner whose key love language is quality time. Quality time. You can go out with the person, go to the beach, stay together, talk together, cherish each other. Amazing. That's quality time. Those people wouldn't want you to even do a lot of things. You come back home, you go to the kitchen, you are cooking, you are sweeping, you are dressing the house, you're doing all manner of things, and they are inside. No, they want you to abandon those things and come around and be around with them. You can use other time to do those things. If your partner's key love language is quality time, make out time intentionally to be with your partner. Awesome. And so remember, the first one is words of affirmation. The second one is quality time. But the third one is act of service. By act of service, we are talking about helping your partner do things he normally, he is always doing in the house. You help your wife cook the meal, throw the garbage. You help your wife do certain things, sweep the house. Who says you can't do that? Who says you can't wash the dishes, do the dishes? There are so many things you can do for your partner that ordinarily your partner is the one that does them. In act of service, you help your partner do things that he or she normally does in the house. Help your partner wash his clothes, help your partner iron them, help your partner do the bed, help your partner do all manner of things. You see, the moment you notice that your partner's key love language is act of service, you become intentional in helping your partner. And whenever you do that, that's how they receive love. That's how they feel loved. So when your partner sees what you've done, he says, oh, my partner, my sweetheart really loves me. They just feel loved by those rendering help and services you render to your partner. You consciously render to your partner. And this is how they feel so much loved. Amazing. Now, the fourth key love language is what we call receiving of gifts. Now, in receiving of gifts, you see, these people feel loved when they receive something from their partner. And that thing mustn't be so huge, mustn't be so expensive. So it's not actually the cost that is the emphasis here, but the fact that you thought about them. The fact you thought about them. People whose key love language is receiving of gifts feel excited, feel loved, feel taken care of when you buy things for them. It can be a little thing as tie, can be a little thing as oranges, can be a little thing as perfume. Anything you buy is not about how much. But of course, when you have all the money, you can buy the big things. You can buy a car, you can buy a house, you can buy a land, you can buy all manner of things. You see, when you do these things, your partners whose key love language is receiving of gifts feel so much loved. And that's how you bring back the wine in your marriage. That's how you also maintain the spark in your marriage, by meeting each other's love needs, by discovering their key love language, and becoming intentional in meeting them. And then the final one is physical touch. Whenever you see people whose key love language is physical touch, they always want you to touch them. They want to hold your hands. They want you to hold them. They want you to put your hand around their neck. You see, whenever you notice that your wife, whenever you want to go to bed, she wants to sleep on your body. She wants to put her head on your shoulder. She wants to hold your hand on the road. There's nothing wrong with such people. Stop complaining. My wife is always wanting me to touch. My husband is always wanting me to touch. No, it's just because their key love language is physical touch. Now, there's something very special about key love language. Most of the time, it's not really what you learn. It's who you are. It's who you are most of the time. And of course, I hope you know that we are always made up of nature and nurture. Nature talks about who you are, your temperamental traits, your personality, the way God made you, your DNA, the fact that you're a man or a woman. But nurture talks about the environmental influence, the company you keep, the church you attend, the relationships you keep, school influence on you, the influence of society, the influence of the environment, the education. These are also things that somehow help to form and fashion who we finally become. And that's how love language finally is formed. So no matter what is the love language of your partner, make sure you meet them. And also people whose key love language is physical touch, they feel so much love when you touch them, kiss them, and even make love to them. Amazing. That's how they feel love. Most men are like that. No matter what you do for the man, you give him food, take him anywhere, do everything. When you don't give him that other one, the conjugal rights, they don't feel love. They feel you have abandoned them. I want to encourage you this morning to begin to give attention once more to your partner's love language. Of course, I hope you know that the first thing to do is to discover them. Take time to discover your partner's key love language. And when you do, take time to meet them. Take time to meet. Be intentional. Add responsibility to it. And believe me, you will begin to meet them. You begin to meet them. I want to pray for you that God will always sustain you and God will always help you to meet the needs, the love needs of your partner in marriage. God bless you and have a lovely day. Amen.